This is the Detroit Sports Podcast Network.
Here with Vito after a dominant 38-13 victory for the Michigan Wolverines. We're here in the Chrysler Center after the post-game presser. A really interesting look at how the players are looking at this game versus Wisconsin, a dominating performance, and especially how they're looking ahead to the game versus Michigan State. Karan Higdon addressed the media, and he came out and flat out said, from here on out, it's personal. And so you get a sense that maybe the early criticism of the offensive line, the offense, the early loss to Notre Dame really hit home with these players. And you can see the evolution of that offensive line. You can see that the offense has gotten better. The defense obviously is keeping the team in a lot of the games, a great performance. I want to get your sense, Vito. What did you think of the game? A dominating performance, really, in a big game. A lot of Michigan fans have been waiting for this for a long time.
Only 13 points scored in the first half, though, by Michigan. 25 in the second half, so they won, 38-13. But it wasn't impressive with that being said. Going into half, only 13-7 the score was. But they limited Alex Hornibrook, now the quarterback for Wisconsin, to 25 yards until the very end of the game. He threw 2 INTs, couldn't do anything through the air. So Michigan completely limited him and Wisconsin's offensive attack through the air. On the ground, Jonathan Taylor still did his thing, but he's an elite running back in the Big Ten in the nation this season. So he can go off. He did here and there against Michigan's D, but Michigan's D as a whole was very solid and stout and got the job done. Ultimately, in Michigan, led by Shea Patterson under center, ultimately got the job done offensively as well, and it led to the victory. And, it wasn't just Shea, by the way. It was Karan, who you already mentioned. Karan had a huge game, a 100-plus yard game on the ground. So he's done that a couple of times already this season, remember. And in his career, I believe he's done it now 10 times. He's rushed for at least 100 yards. So he's been impressive this season. And now he's healthy. It looks like fully healthy. Chris Evans got a couple of carries. That was good to see. True Wilson got a couple of carries. So they mixed in a bunch of running backs. And the ground game was there. It was widely present. And Michigan needs that. If they want Shea to be the best quarterback that he possibly can be, they need that ground game present. And it was tonight, definitely, against Wisconsin, John.
How surprised were you seeing Shea Patterson bust off that big run? A lot of people were like, wow, first play, second quarter, they see Shea trucking down the sideline. It really gave the team a lift, and it's really interesting because when you really evaluate Shea Patterson, this is a dual-threat quarterback, a guy that can extend plays a la Brian Lewerke. You can definitely see that offense progressing under the leadership of Shea Patterson. Fill me in a little bit. What are your thoughts about Shea Patterson and what you've seen now, his evolution in the last month?
Well, not great numbers, not elite numbers at all, but he had those big runs that he did break off. So breaking those runs for 81 yards, he went for that one big run, and so he's a versatile threat. He can score on the ground, and that's key to him becoming the elite passer that he can be, and that he's shown the ability to play like in the past too. But we want to see even more of that consistently, him being that true dual threat passer. And the thing is with Shea, we know he's capable, and now we want to see him do it. It was really starting with tonight. We wanted to see him do it against Wisconsin. But now moving forward against Michigan State next week at MSU, remember. They have the bye then at Michigan for Penn State. So they have MSU, Penn State, the bye sandwiched in between those two games. Huge, pivotal matchups. Great teams to play against. And we'll see now what he's really made of. And we saw a little bit of a taste of it, at least from Shea on the ground. Now, through the air, he had a few good throws, but wasn't extremely, the best-looking quarterback out there. And definitely not a guy that should be going number one in the NFL draft or be a top quarterback prospect based on what he did through the air. But does he have the intangibles? Yes. Can he make some good throws and thread the needle? Yes. But now we want to see him do it even more consistently and be even more effective against the rest of the big boys on the remainder of the schedule, which once again means Michigan State next week, the bye, then Penn State, and then obviously Ohio State. Ohio State, that last game for this season.
Karan Higdon talked about it in the presser after the game. He feels like Michigan's offensive line is the best offensive line in the country. Can they help Michigan progress and help the Wolverines meet all their goals? Because, like you said, tough opponents. It was brought up definitely that the Michigan State game, the Penn State game, when they take on Ohio State, it's going to be physical. It's going to be mano-a-mano, and that offensive line has to win some key battles. Karan Higdon has to definitely perform. Shea Patterson's going to have to be given more time. So do you co-sign what Karan Higdon said about the offensive line?
Well, that it's the best in the nation, right? Well, it's not. I mean, we all know that, and it's not even the best in the Big Ten. But can it get better? Has it gotten better? People have said so. I've seen it myself in person, and we'll have this game tonight, right? And Karan running for all the yards that he has up to this point in the season, and other guys being able to succeed on the ground. I think it showcases to you that the line has gotten better as the season has gone along. It definitely has gotten better. Is it in top-notch shape? Will it ever be a top-notch offensive line to allow holes to open up for the ground game and to really elevate maybe the quarterback Shea, Patterson, and the ground game as a whole to, be elevated to the next level, to get to that next level? I don't think the O-line is of that caliber, but at least Michigan has seen improvements, signs of improvement out of its O-line. And that's a good thing once you head into Michigan State. Going to be a competitive, hugely physical game. You know that. And then against these other guys, too, who can run it on the ground, the smash mouth football. So you have to answer that, right? You have to bring the same intensity. And those are some good D lines you're going up against, too. So can Michigan match that intensity on the O-line? Well, it'll be hard to come by, but at least Michigan, once again, has shown signs of improvement on the line enough to warrant, I think, all of us saying that Michigan, I believe, actually has a chance to knock off Sparty and has a shot now to beat Penn State. Ohio State, that's probably a story for another day.
Now stay tuned. After our chat, we're going to feature interviews that Vito did with Josh Metellus, and Shea Patterson addressed the media, so stay tuned for that. You definitely will enjoy that. Like you said, you began to talk about it, your early thoughts, because on the Detroit Sports Podcast Network, we're going to talk about it all week. It's a big matchup. We're going to have big guests on all week long, so you can definitely check it out, the podcast, DetroitSportsPodcast.com, all week long. It's Michigan State week. And I asked a question to Karan, and he kind of dismissed it and said, look, we're not looking to Michigan State. We're not really all that concerned. But I want to get your early thoughts about the matchup, the big game, the big rivalry week matchup, Michigan State.
Well, it's at Sparty. So, and 2 years ago, remember, Michigan beat a 3-9 Michigan State team. So that was a beaten down Sparty squad. Sparty isn't beaten down this year, and coming off of that big upset victory over Penn State at Penn State, that was hugely impressive. So, we know Brian Lewerke has the capability of making plays and big plays when he has to, and he showcased that ability as well against Penn State. So, in a hugely impressive victory, no doubt about that for State. And now at its home field for Michigan State, you got to give them some love and show them some due respect and say State definitely has a shot. Even though people were writing them off, doubting them, saying their season was completely over, they've been rejuvenated. They are alive again, Michigan State. So Michigan has a tough challenge ahead for itself next Saturday in Spartyville.
With that, you can follow Vito on Twitter at Vito Jerome. Follow the network at Detroit Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the coverage. We think we provided something very unique and entertaining as well as informative when the Michigan Wolverines took on the Wisconsin Badgers. It was an interesting contest, one in which maybe some answers have arisen with all the questions that have been asked from supporters. Maybe Michigan starting to answer them, and I can't wait to talk about it more with you and the others this week on the Detroit Sports Podcast Network. This has been the Doc. Vito was here as well. He did a great job. Thanks again, everybody. Enjoy the interviews.
So would you say they were predictable?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and our D-line did a great job putting pressure on Huntingburg, making the throws go all over the place. So, I feel like we did a great job there.
How badly did you guys want to make a big statement and a shutdown in a big game like this?
We knew going into the week that, this game doesn't have to be close. All the hype, college game day, 12 versus 15. We knew that going into the game, we're a better team, and we didn't have to make the game close. So, we went in there just ready to dominate, execute every man on every play. We just felt like we should have blown them out, and that's what we did.
Josh, how much of a different team does this feel like it is compared to week one?
Week one, I just feel like every week we get better and better, learn from our mistakes, different adversities, bring us together stronger as a team. So I feel like, the bond is just getting closer and closer, and when that happens, stuff like today happens.
Josh, where's your confidence level personally? You got, 3 interceptions this year, pick 6, one of them?
Last year, I just felt like, I'm just getting better from every game. I'm learning more different things. From last year, I feel like I just made a big jump. My confidence level, whether it's just tackling or man coverage, I feel like I just made a big jump in that. So, my confidence level every week, if I'm confident, the rest of the defense is confident, So I just feel like, being a leader on the defense, being confident is something you should just have.
How were you guys able to shut down Jonathan Taylor in the second half?
Everybody knows Wisconsin likes to run the ball, so we just went in, You know, it wasn't nothing too big that they were doing on their part, you know, to break open those couple runs. It was just, you know, us not being as disciplined as we were supposed to. So going into halftime, you know, it was like we're good, we're in a good spot. You know, everybody just do their job, you know, play your role, and we should be good.
What was the game plan for stopping Wisconsin too today?
You know, just get them in uncomfortable situations. You know, usually first down, they get 5-6 yards, you know, and then they're in the position to either run or pass. So, you know, we wanted to just stop them on first down, you know, limit the amount of yards to get on first, you know, even maybe negative yardage. So, you know, to put them in a hard second down. And we knew Hornibrook would be in a little bit, you know, I don't know how to say it, but, you know, we just wanted to put pressure on them.
Even when you go one-on-ones, how much have you seen your offensive line improve?
Offensive line?
Yeah.
Oh, offensive line improved tremendously, you know, since January. You know, they've been getting stronger in the weight room, you know, more attentive, more confident. And, you know, it's just good to see them, you know, they're like their own little brotherhood, you know, on the offensive line. You know, they love each other. They want to do good for each other. You know, they want to protect Shea. They want to protect Karan, Chris, True. You know, they want to protect those guys behind them. You know, and they don't want to, you know, have be the one reason, you know, the team doesn't win.
Are you guys motivated, or how much are you motivated by the talk that Michigan has to get over the hump in this big 3-game stretch and all these big games? How much does that push you guys?
I mean, it doesn't really, you know, we just go in every week. You know, we want to win. We want to win a Big Ten championship. You know, we want to play for the national championship. We want to win that. You know, so it just starts week by week, going in every week with the mentality that, all right, like this is the game that can decide our season, so let's treat it like that. You know, everybody's being focused, everybody's working hard in practice, you know, and that's a big thing.
How long do you savor this, and when does attention shift to Michigan State for you?
Tomorrow, you know, this is one night thing, you know, finish out the day, you know what, it's almost 12 o'clock, you know. Tomorrow we just got to get treatment and get our bodies ready to play Michigan State.
You guys have talked about the championship game mentality week to week quite a bit. Is that something that's new this year? Different than
No, it's always been a goal, you know, it's just different ways we approached it. This year I feel like we're approaching it the right way as a team. You know, it's probably been individuals in the couple past years, you know, but now I feel like as a team we all have the same goals and we all have the same, you know, work ethic, and I feel like that's really working for us right now.
How much has this team improved since week one?
Oh, we've improved tremendously, you know. Every week, you know, whether it's playing a team that's not as good as a team we played today or, you know, playing a better team, you know, I just feel like we attack every team the same way. You know, we go into practice on Monday working hard. We watch film, you know, we listen to coaches, you know, we bond together. And I feel like that's a big thing, you know, just being a team, like being close, being brothers, you know, I feel like that gets you through certain adversities, you know, like throwing an interception or, you know, like letting the offense score on you, you know. I feel like that stuff like that pushes us, you know, because we're a team, you know, we trust each other and we have that faith that no matter what, we're going to get the job done.
How big of a game is it playing in Michigan State, too?
It's a Big Ten game, you know, every Big Ten game, you know, starts our season. So, you know, it's just a big game in general.
Couldn't be more thankful for my O-line and our run game. It really adds another dimension to our offense and our team as a whole. But just seeing the progression of our O-line every single week, it's really good to see, and it was a lot of fun. I had all day back there. Took a couple sacks, got us out of field goal range. Probably shouldn't have done that, but yeah, just happy. That was a really fun game. Yeah, Karan he's a horse. I mean, he's our horse. You know, he's our leader on the team, on the offense, and you know we follow him, and he sets the tone for the game, and that opens up everything else. It was one of the funnest games I've ever been a part of.
What do you think was key to getting the offense going in the second half?
I think the momentum swings that the defense gave us. Special teams put us in good situations, good field position. Defense played lights out, you know, again, and that always helps us. Just kind of establishing the run game and taking one to give us underneath and really just trusting what we see. I think it's just, I understand it. You know, I understand the expectations and the hype around the game. But I think we're just going to attack it every single week moving forward these last few weeks. You know, just like we did tonight, just like we have been the last few weeks. You know, I think obviously playing Michigan State and Ohio State, it means a little bit more, and it's a little bit more personal. But it doesn't matter who we play. We have to come out with the same intensity and the same expectation and belief in ourselves that we're going to win. You know, we control our own destiny. I think it was a huge win for us tonight. I think it was a statement game. We didn't just win; we kind of dominated them. So we wanted to come out here and make a statement.